stop trying to run a PR. I didn't say don't go for your PR. I said stop trying to run a PR. We want to live a life where we're pushing and trying to make everything happen. Or we want to live a life where we allow it to come to us. We set an intention out for what we want, but we release needing to have it. And that is the way to have it. I'm going to share with you a couple of little stories here that's going to illustrate to you why trying to get your PR is the way to hold it away from yourself. We got this great background here. I'm in Marshall, North Carolina. We got a couple of llamas. Actually, they're alpacas, not llamas, not to be confused. So why am I telling you not to try to get your PR? Well, just like anything in life, if you try to get it, what you're saying to yourself subconsciously when you try to get something is you're saying subconsciously you don't have it yet. If you want to get something, if you want to have something, you're acknowledging that you don't have it. So if you want to run under a 3-hour marathon, if you want to run under a 3-hour marathon, you don't believe you are a sub 3-hour marathoner. You see that? It's very subtle. And what you believe is going to be what you manifest. It's going to be what you run. Did Roger Bannister believe that he could run under a 4-minute mile? You betcha. And so he did. Did Kipchoge believe that he could run under 2 hours in the marathon? Absolutely. There was no plan B. He didn't have a backup plan that day. So there needs to be a belief that you're going to do the thing that you want to do. You have to see it as already done. And so if you try, you're like pushing as opposed to allowing, or as opposed to pulling towards you, pulling yourself towards it. So someone who can run a 2:30 marathon, do they believe they can run a sub 3-hour marathon? I mean, certainly. So they fully believe it. They are a sub 3-hour marathoner. So when it comes time for race day, they don't have to try. They could do it in their normal training shoes, slightly dehydrated, without breakfast. And they would still believe that they can do it because it's who they are. It's their identity so deeply that they're going to do it. And if they find that they're behind pace halfway through, they'll just pick up the pace and they'll make it happen. And there's like a release of, if they didn't do it, it's not their fault. Maybe something outside of their control happened, and that's okay. Look, Kipchoge ran kind of slow at Boston. It wasn't his day, but he came back a few months later, 6 months later, and he ran one of the fastest marathon times of all time and won the Berlin Marathon. So it's like, it doesn't matter. And I don't think Kipchoge was home crying about not winning the Boston Marathon. I think he's fine because his identity, he doesn't have an ego about it. It's just who he is. So same thing for you. Don't try. So let's look at other areas of life besides your running. What if you try really hard to get that date with that person? If you try, it's kind of unattractive, isn't it? If you really need it, if you really want it. Now, it's really cute if the other person feels the same way, if they have like a little crush on you or something like that. But if you're needy, it's not likely to bring you the results that you want. What if you need that business deal? What if you need it? What if you try to get it? And so you close really hard. Are you likely to attract that customer to you or push them away? Isn't that interesting? So in other areas of life, we can see kind of subconsciously even that trying to get something holds it away from us. Do you have kids? What if you try to get them to clean their room or do their chores or eat their broccoli? The harder you push, the more they resist. Is it just because they're little kids or a new person dating or a business deal? It's like, it's everywhere. So it's the same thing with your running. If you push to try to get it, you're holding it away from you. And I can't explain it. I don't know how the universe works. I just know that it works. And you hold it away from you. But when you let it go, it will come to you. Now, here's a story to prove this point to you, or illustrate this point, because can we prove it? I don't know. But I'm going to share with you a story of success and a story of like backdoor success. So one of my runners, Heidi, we've been working together for a number of years. She's a fantastic runner. You know, she runs very consistently 70 to 80, even 85, sometimes more miles per week, every week, year round. Lots of strides, lots of workouts, lots of Pilates, lots of weightlifting. She's very dedicated and she runs really well, high caliber runner. In the spring of this year, she was set up to run her peak marathon. And we were going for a PR, you know, a lifetime PR, and she was 47. And she was hesitating a little bit in the days before the race. She didn't think that it was gonna work out very well. She had some workouts that didn't go that well. She wasn't feeling that good, she was tired. So we got on the phone and I encouraged her to just let go and tap it back in to the reasons why she was running in the first place. And we went back in our notes, like 3 years of our coaching calls, and we found the first things she ever said, the reasons why she's running, was to feel light, feel fast, and feel free. Light, fast, and free. So I encouraged her to do that in the days leading up to this race. Wear light colored clothing. Feel light in her heart. Be free. Go to travel to this race with her new husband. They're in love and they travel and get a nice place, enjoy the weekend together, be free, be full of love, be light, be fast, do some strides, feel fast in your legs. And she did, and she let go of the time on the clock. I believe she was going for a sub 320, and a 315 would have been massive success, like far beyond her lifetime PR. So she went out nice and slow, took that first mile slow, was way behind pace. Went through the half marathon, not even looking at her watch, just feeling good and executing, feeling light, fast, and free, and smiling the whole way. And there's pictures of her on the course, and she's like beaming with smiles. She's just really enjoying this race. And then at 20 miles, she realized that she's on pace to break her PR, and she still feels good. So she picked up the pace, and she ran faster and faster, and she broke her lifetime PR by 15 minutes at 47. She broke her time from when she was in her 20s. Now that's interesting. She let go, didn't try, didn't microanalyze her pace, and ran a huge PR. I mean, that's huge. A 15-minute PR in a marathon when you're down, and she ran a 3:02. So she's no slouch, okay? This is a fast marathon. 15-minute PR by letting go. I've had a number of runners who have done that recently. We kind of focus on letting go. And the best thing is like when you have a race that's not your peak race, and then 3 to 6 months later, you have that race that you really care about, it makes the race that's coming up less important. So we can let go of the outcome. And oftentimes that race becomes the PR. And then when it comes time for that peak race, you already got the PR, so you don't need it, and you can let go of the outcome. It's already been a success, and then you can PR again. Isn't that interesting? You let go, and that's the state of flow. We hear about flow being talked about in various books. Like, what is flow? But flow is just like executing without thought. We've rehearsed it. It's ingrained in our soul, and we just feel good and can flow. Everything clicks. Flow is not about micro-analyzing, thinking really hard, and trying. Flow is about releasing, letting go, trusting, having faith. And flow is, can you imagine being in a fight like an MMA fighter or a boxer, thinking about what they're gonna do and planning? I'm gonna go left, then right. No. They have to be flow, and they have to whoosh, react and strike hard and be relaxed. If they try to strike from a place of being really tense, it's gonna be not that powerful. But when they're relaxed and they can whoosh, you know, like Bruce Lee, he's very relaxed, and then wham, he hits really hard. Because he's coming from a place of flow, of letting go. Letting go of the outcome. Letting go of the outcome. Let's say hey to a couple of friends over here. Friends, not food. They don't like being on YouTube. See? I'm gonna share with you another story that comes in the back door of what success is, and we will be on with our way, but I want you to hear this. I worked with a lovely woman about a year ago who was a fantastic biker, and she loved it. She loved mountain biking. And she was really good at it. She'd place really high, like at the top of the nation. And her friends told her that if she ran, she'd easily be able to get her Boston qualifier because she's so fit as an athlete. But the problem was she didn't really love running. She loved biking. So it was a push. She felt she had to get it done, get that time on the clock. But she didn't like who she was becoming. She would have preferred to be biking. Her workouts weren't going that well because she didn't enjoy them. And she wasn't that adaptable with what she was doing in her training because she felt she had to execute in order to get the time. And it's like this very like push kind of thing. It was very effortful and meaningless and egoic driven and significance driven. And for those reasons, we were about 2 months in, and she's the only person I ever worked with that I fired. And this was an agreement, okay? Essentially what happened was, stop running. Who cares? Just mountain bike, because that's what you love. That's what's important to you. And I told her, don't run another step, like as long as you shall live, unless you want to. She let go of her running, trying to get her BQ. She did run her marathon. She ran a PR, and she enjoyed it. She did not get her BQ, But look at that. She enjoyed it. And as far as I know, that was her last race. And as far as I know, she's not training anymore. I assume that she's biking. But we turned it into a success. She sent me this really nice message after she did it and said, thank you. I could hear your coaching in my ear. I let go. I felt in a state of flow. I really enjoyed the race. I didn't get my BQ, but I did get a PR. It feels really good and I can let this chapter go. And I thought, God bless. Amazing. How amazing is that? So it's not about the time on the clock. So stop pushing to get a time on the clock. Stop trying to get the time on the clock, because the truth is that the time on the clock is not what you want anyway. We only want anything because we think we'll feel a certain way when we get it. Isn't that true? You only want the time because you think you'll feel successful or accomplished, or like you're in your 40s, 50s, or 60s and you're not washed up yet, you're getting better, or like you're giving it all you got, or like you're a person who can execute on their goals, or like it's meaningful to you. I've got a runner who ran a couple of races in order to honor her mother who had passed during her last training cycle. And it's like, that's more meaningful than the time on the freaking clock. So it's not the time on the clock, my friends. It's the way that you feel. It's who you're becoming. It's the experience that you're having. And it's releasing. Do we want to live a life where we're pushing and trying to make everything happen? Or do we want to live a life where we work on ourselves, we allow it to come to us, we set an intention out for what we want, but we release needing to have it. And that is the way to have it. And here's the dirty little trick. The last part of this for you here is that if you release needing to have it as a tactic in order to have it, that's the ego creeping in the back door, and you will lose. You have to actually release. You have to actually be able to walk away from the deal and not care. You have to actually not need that partner because you have an abundance of choices. You have to actually be the kind of person who has the race time that you want, so that regardless of whether you get it on race day or not, it doesn't matter. Because if you are a sub 3 hour marathoner and you didn't get it today, you'll just get it next time. It was just the weather or you had an off day. It's not your identity. You are the sub 3 hour marathoner, regardless of whether you've seen it on the clock or not. Well, hello from Austin, Texas. There's a 50-mile race going on behind me right now, and this is a reminder for you that for the holidays, you can give an awesome gift to yourself or to your friends with Run Elite. Now, I love that you are watching this channel and that you're getting value from this, and so I'm offering you, if you buy the copy of the Run Elite book between now and the end of November, November 30th, then you're gonna get a free pair of $21 Run Elite socks. They're feature socks. It's the #1 running sock in the country, and it's actually $2 more than the book itself. So you can buy the book and then get paid $2 in order to get the book. But the purpose of this is to be able to give a gift for the holidays. So we got Christmas coming up, we got Black Friday coming up. Tis the season, and there are dogs running around. Tis the season for giving, so when you get the book, you can give the socks to your friend, or if you already have the book, you can buy a copy for your friend and get a pair of socks to double the gift to them. Information below on how to do this. You got to get the book by the end of the month, and starting now to the end of the month, you get your free pair of socks. I hope that you take advantage of it, and either way, happy holidays to you from Austin, Texas. This is Andrew Snow with Run Elite signing off. See you on the next video. If you got anything from this video, that should be worth a like, a subscribe, and a comment. Really do appreciate it. We'll see you on the next video. Take care.